Hello, my name is Todd Seyfarth. I'm a culinary nutrition instructor and I'm all about healthy food. Today we're going to talk about the vegetarian. So let's say that you and your family are not vegetarian and you may have a guest or family member that is vegetarian. What do you do? Okay, well, the first thing you need to do is realize that they eat vegetables, we eat vegetables, it's not that big of a deal. Some of the easy things to do is just choose something that is very common, something that your whole family will love, that is automatically vegetarian. Things like pizza, lasagna, a lot of your Indian and ethnic foods are all vegetable based. We don't have to think outside of the box and do some kind of crazy vegetarian dish. Today I'm going to make a dish called tacos. You may have heard of it. Now with tacos, we have a beef base typically, but think about it. How much of the beef flavor actually goes into the final taco? Once you have all the lettuce and onions and salsa and all that other stuff on there, the beef itself does not really do anything other than deliver a certain texture. It's the spice blend that you add to the beef that makes that beef taste so good. So all I'm going to do is substitute out the beef with a vegetarian option. Now this is Bulgur wheat. This is par cooked, typically boiled, sometimes steamed, and then dried cracked wheat. So it cooks up relatively quickly. It's a whole grain, so we have a better blend of protein, some fiber, some healthy fats in here. It is going to be a good alternative to beef. Now there are other options that are out there. Most of your grains can be substituted here, but I particularly like Bulgur because it does come across like ground beef when it's fully cooked. So I took about a cup of Bulgur and I threw it in the pan, okay, and I toasted this up. This was over medium heat for 3 to 5 minutes. If you want to know if you toasted it enough, just take a little bit and pop it in your mouth. It's not that big of a deal. A little bit crunchy, but completely edible. And you want to just make sure you didn't under toast it where it tastes like nothing, or over toast it where it becomes very bitter. Okay, and you can take it to whatever direction you want. And the question comes up a lot, do I need that step? Do I need to toast it? Well, the answer is, do you like white bread or do you like white bread toasted? The difference in flavor between the slice of white bread and the slice of toast is the difference between raw Bulgur and toasted Bulgur. It's a big difference. There's a huge difference in flavor, and I particularly like it for this application. So now that I have this, now we have to come up with a spice blend. Now taco seasoning is a variety of things, mostly cumin. So I have some cumin here, I have some coriander, I got some pink peppercorns. This is something that I like to add. I'm a huge fan of pink peppercorns. I think there is a nice citrus bite to it, a sweetness to it that you don't get anywhere else. And then we have chili pepper. Now we can toast this, we can develop some really great flavors, put it into a coffee grinder, grind it up, but I know most of you guys are probably just going to go with your favorite spice blend, and there really isn't anything wrong with that. Okay, now this calls for it to be diluted in water. This just helps the spice blend distribute better. Now I'm going to add in more water. I have about a cup of Bulgur wheat back here that's been toasted, and I have about a cup of water. Now this is going to cook the Bulgur. It's going to help me out, but what it's also going to do is it's going to distribute this spice blend. Okay. Now realize that if you have a larger pan or a smaller pan, higher heat, lower heat, there's a lot of things that are going to impact how much of this water is going to be absorbed by the grain and how much is going to evaporate out. So I always have another half cup to a cup on the side, just in case when all the liquid's been absorbed, it's not quite fully there. So I take this and I just pour it over the top. Okay. Now over a medium heat and with a little bit of stirring, I'm just going to cook that till it's fully cooked. All right, we're done. It took about 5 minutes, and what we end up with is this. Now, if I get the cameraman to put on a little bit of a soft focus on this, you'd actually believe that it is ground beef. It's got a nice chewy texture, very similar to what ground beef would be. It kind of pops. So there's a lot of things in here very similar texturally to ground beef, and now it's just building a taco. Now, if nutrition is your #1 concern, then we can start building from ground up. All right, we can grab a tortilla that's either blue corn, whole grain. This is a multi-grain tortilla. There's some flaxseed and some other stuff in here. So I use this as my base. Okay, now I just add a little bit of meat. Okay, and you're building a taco. So if you know how to make a taco, you could probably shut this off right now. because I'm just assembling. Okay, so now I'm going to add some red onions. Just have a nice julienne of red onions. I think onion, especially with the heavy spice flavors, onions just pop and work very nicely. Cilantro, this adds a nice aromatic quality to what we're making. Again, if you don't like cilantro, by all means keep it out. Okay, I have some avocado here. Okay, some shredded lettuce right here. If you like cheese, you can put that on there. A little bit of lime. Okay, you can cut up some tomatoes, or you can just use your favorite store-bought salsa on here. Okay, now if we have a vegan coming, now a vegan is a very strict vegetarian. They can't eat anything that has come from animals, so no milk, no eggs, no honey, nothing like that. If we have a vegan coming to dinner, we're done. But if you just have what's called a lacto-ovo vegetarian, or most people that just kind of define themselves as vegetarians will probably eat cheese. So we can add in a little bit of sharp cheddar. Remember that sharp cheeses mean we don't need to use as much. And the last thing that people love is sour cream. Okay, so if we're going to do sour cream, let's see if we can just add a little bit of nutrition to it. So I'm starting with a low-fat variety of sour cream. I then took a pepper and popped it right in the oven. Came out 45 minutes later, 350 degrees, came out looking like this. Now, often people will fire roast over an open flame. Now, if you don't have a gas range at home, this is a great alternative. And if you're really concerned with color, all right, this is also a really great alternative, because you'll notice that there is no black charring on this. So when we puree this up, there won't be that kind of darkening that you'll get with a fire roasted pepper. So this will be a lot lighter in color, which will make it just look better on the plate. All right, so you just put it in your favorite blender, little food processor, and blend it until it's smooth. Okay, and depending on what you're doing, you can go all out and make it really smooth. You can leave it chunky like this. It really doesn't matter. Now we're just going to add this in here. Now the question will often come up, can I just throw the sour cream in there? Well, not really. Sour creams and yogurts and things like that, when you blend them, end up getting really thin. You break down whatever holds it together as a kind of thick mixture. So I wouldn't suggest that you throw the sour cream in there with it. Well, then we just mix it up. If you want to add some salt and pepper to this, a little bit of lime juice, why not? It's already sour, but we'll add a little bit more sourness to it. Okay. Just serve a nice little dollop of this on top. Okay, and vegetarian tacos. All right, so once again, my name is Todd Seyfarth, and thank you for joining me.